Hello, everybody. My name is Star Lutzis, and I am here with Aligning Purpose Publishing, and we are getting to talk with the wonderful June Baucom
Woohoo!
today. She is so lovely, so kind, so sweet, and she has just launched her first book today. Reached bestseller in biographies of educators. June has been an educator for nearly 2 decades, and is going to share some of her wisdom and knowledge today. So excited. So, June, welcome.
Yes, hello. Hi, everyone.
So glad to have you here. Why don't you tell us about who you are and what sort of got you to writing this book?
Oh, my goodness. I just love children. I've always loved them. I just always, that's just been a passion of mine. But I didn't know this until a friend of mine, when I was babysitting her children, she told me, she said, June, you're good with children. And, I said, I just love being with them, and it's so good when it shows, and they appreciate that. And that was the beginning of my journey with working with children. And up to now, and I just love all children. I do specialize in the younger ones, 1 to 11-year-old, because those are the ones that I'm most familiar with. Those are the ones that I've been, working with and have the most experience and knowledge about. But I love them all because they're so important. They're so and they're so valuable. And it just breaks my heart when they don't see their value. And God created us all with so much value, and we just don't recognize that. And that's part of my mission, is to help parents see the value in their children, because a lot of times we watch social media and everything gets skewed, and we start having a different image of our children. And I just wanted to get back to us pouring into them all the beauty that they possess inside,
Yeah.
and but that also starts with us. And sometimes we come with baggage, because I have a lot. I'm slowly shedding them, so I feel a lot lighter. but but I understand those limiting beliefs about yourself, and sometimes you project them onto your children, the words that you use when you talk to them because of how you are feeling.
Mm.
And so my goal is just to help parents to just learn to comfort themselves, find ways of overcoming those limiting beliefs, and to help their children so that they will thrive.
I love it. And won't you show us your book, Home Team
Woo-hoo!
Parenting? Yes, Fast Start to Freedom, Discovering the Spirit of Cooperation.
Operation.
Yes. Yeah. That's awesome. And I think that there are, a lot of parents and just a lot of individuals, right, where we have these limiting beliefs and we can unknowingly oftentimes,
Mhm.
project that onto the people that we're around, right?
Yes,
Um,
yes.
so what maybe tip would you have to a parent who notices, their children are kind of taking on the limiting beliefs that they have? How would you kind of like, quick tips on adjusting that in their children and in themselves?
Mm, yeah, that's a big one. But the most important thing is, a lot of times it's recognizing that it's coming from you,
Yeah.
because you may not realize it's coming from you. You may think it's somebody else, or may not even understand why your child is acting that way. Because a lot of times we don't understand how we're behaving, because we're being conditioned and we've been doing it so long, and we're doing the same same behavior and expecting different outcomes, but it doesn't work that way. You know,
Mm.
we have to change from the inside, and we have to truly see who we are and work to change that, how we think about ourselves, how we, our thoughts, you know, and how we think, how we people perceive us. And we have these ideas about how you want to be perceived. And a lot of times, people see us in a beautiful way, and we just see ourselves as, you know, so, you know, little and, you know,
Mm.
insignificant. And, you know, but so it's really taking a deep dive into how we see ourselves and analyze when we see our children, look at them. My book is about teamwork. And what I love about being a coach is you're not making it personal. You are analyzing, because at, each of us as adults, we're expert in some areas, at work, right? Wherever you work, in the corporate field, in entertainment, wherever you have a leadership role, you're a coach in some way, you're an influencer in some way, right? So
Mhm.
you know what it's like to influence and guide and coach and mentor people.
Right.
And that perspective is so much different, because you're coming alongside them and you're helping them. You know, you're teaching them the right way, but
Mm.
you're gently taking them in that direction. You're not like, you know, harsh and hard at them. You know, you're lovingly doing it, and you know, it's more controlled, and it's more of a conversation, and
Mhm.
it's an awareness. And so you're talking these things through, you're making them aware of how they're showing up, you know, what they're experiencing from your behavior, and all that. And so it's just seeing their children that way, you know. So if you can flip that switch a little bit and just not take it, as your child is this and that, but seeing, you know, I am the parent. I'm the one responsible for my child. I need to teach my child, because my child needs me from the day they were born. They need you to teach them, right?
Mhm.
And so we have to take that seriously, and meet them where they are. If they're not showing up where you think they need to be, then you need to get down there wherever they are and help to lift them back up. But it's always possible. It's always possible.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. Um, yeah, so you have always been wanting to write books, right?
Mhm, mhm.
Uh, and being around kids kind of was that push to sort of write books, and then writing it towards the parents, right, that you're talking about on how to kind of develop those relationships. So can you go into a little bit more on that?
Yes, wow. Let's see. The books came in, I don't know, I'm not sure, but I think God kind of revealed that to me, because, oh, photography. That's
Mm.
how it is. Because I don't remember who gave me my first camera, but
Okay.
I'm always have a camera, right? So I was always taking pictures and trying to put them. So we used to make documentation boards at work,
Mm.
because I worked in preschool for many years, and that was kind of what got me interested. And we used to make documentation boards, and we would talk about all the wonderful things that they did, how they did it, and we would capture those moments and we would display them. So when they did, we would take them up there, you know, to show them, oh, look, you were giving your friends a hug. I know she enjoyed that. She loves that. And you were using gentle hands, you know, and teaching them those ways. And so that I actually did co-write, a children's photo book, many many years ago, but it didn't really, wasn't sure of how what I was doing, so it didn't really take off.
Mm.
But that also, ignited that, desire to do more of that, because that was what I really loved. And so I did. I love to serve children and families, so I do that in many ways. I have worked with them privately in their homes, you know, helping them as a babysitter or as a nanny, or whatever they need help with their family. And so I got to really see them and help them at home. And I got to take, uh, you know, what there are, their experiences, and make those positive teaching moments.
Mm.
And so I created books for them. There were two specific ones that I did. And, you know, there were for different age groups. There are two different age groups. And one was a young girl, she's a toddler. how to share her space with her dogs. And so, the parents just didn't understand that they had to set boundaries for the animals. And
Mm,
so that their child could explore freely without the dogs getting into the way, because she was hitting them, which
mm,
parents didn't understand why she would do that, but she needed her own space and they were always around,
mm,
so teaching them to set those boundaries and teaching her how to cope with that too.
mm,
And then the other one was about two girls, 5 and 7 years old, teaching them how to accept responsibilities for their actions, right? And to
mhm.
be responsible. So they would always argue at night about going to bed. Oh, they would stay up too late. And so helping them to understand mommy needs to get to bed because she has to get up and study, because
Right.
she works and she goes to school and she's
Mhm.
in university, and that they have an important part to play in their family because they're a
Mm,
team.
right.
So mommy needs them to go to sleep and they need to get their rest because they need to get up and get ready for school, right?
Mhm.
So you are responsible for you. I'm responsible for me. So I can't say, Star, you made me do it. I
Right.
can't say that, right? Even at 5 or 7 years old, I allowed you, right, to
Yeah.
tell me what to do. So, we each have to learn to be responsible and don't play the victim role.
Right, right, right. Yeah, and I think that's good for learning that teamwork, right?
Yes.
Because you learn that on teams, but sometimes in our houses, we don't necessarily learn that team model, right?
Yes. I had friends when I first came here from Jamaica, and I met this other Jamaican woman, and she introduced me to her friends, her group of friends. And, I call us a friend team, right? Our friend team. And, many of us developed separate friendships, which is
Mhm.
great. But we had that core, team, a friend team. And then I call like church teams and I have family teams, because it's a sense of togetherness that you get, right? That you each have to develop. You work independently, you develop independent, because there's specific skills you need to learn. Like you
Mm,
need to learn, like if you're playing any sport, right? Each person, you have to learn to catch the ball,
right.
right? You can catch a ball from me, can you? Right? Not if you have to, you have to catch it for yourself, because you're in your space and I'm in my space. So I have to do my part. And I
Right.
have to build my muscles. I have to run. I have to practice. I have to build those, my physical muscles, so I'll be strong to be able to be part of the team. Because if I'm not strong and if I don't practice those skills, working together, cooperation, learning to give and take, communicate, all those things, then it's hard for me to function.
Right.
So the coach is the person, like when you're at home, mom can't do all the work
Mm,
because that's not preparing them for life,
right.
right? Then they will not know how to comb their hair. They will not know how to put their shoes on. They will not know how to tie their shoelaces.
Mm,
So we it's up to us to teach them to have those skills that they'll need to survive and to thrive in this world and to become, because everywhere we go, it's team. We work in teams,
right.
and so that's how the world functions. And so we really need to start them at home.
Yes, I love that. That's so good. And I think that's just like a good encouragement for moms out there, right? Um, to you don't have to take it all on, right?
Mm-mm.
And it's actually really good for the kids to have sort of that independence of their own. So that's an encouragement, I would say. Um, that's exciting. Now, we had talked a little bit about how kids might respond when they're wanting attention, right?
Mhm.
And you had shared a story with me about tearing up a couch of some kind. Why don't you share that?
Well, well, I was thinking about children, and I just see the way they behave, and in schools, how they are disruptive,
Mhm.
and it makes me realize that a lot of times it's because any attention is better than no attention at all.
Mm,
And a lot of times positive attention does not get recognized.
Mm.
You know, it's, I expect you to act that way. No, but when you act negatively, or you demonstrate bad behavior or poor decision making skills, that is kind of blown up, and that kind of feeds into that negativity, and it's like, oh, I'm getting the attention, even if it's positive negative attention. So it's important. So what I did was, I I'm assuming that's why I did that. But I got a razor blade and I slit my sofa at my house when I was young, very young. I'm not sure, maybe 5 or 6 or 7. And I literally went and got my mom and said, I did that. Yes, I did. I said, I did that. So that makes me think, I realized that, hey, I was trying to get some attention there. And so parents, when that happens, when your child keeps doing those things, like when I was teaching in preschool, I was substitute teaching for this class, and most of the kids would come when it's time to do activity at the table and all that. But I had two particular children who did not want to participate and wanted to do their own thing. And I learned a long time ago that it's important to monitor their behavior, their action, make sure they're safe if they're not part of the group. But if I feed into them, then they're negative, then some of the children who are already in the activity will leave to join them.
Right.
So I had to keep an eye on those two children while I am having the most fun and making it the most fun so that they will join us, right? Because that's the whole idea, to get the team to work together. And so, I'm trying to get them interested, but not giving them the negative attention that they're seeking. And then eventually, when they're not getting that attention, they'll finally come over and they'll sit down and join us. And that may take 2 days, but it's being persistent about that. And sometimes it may take longer. It depends on how long your child has been doing what they want to do and not participating and getting their own way.
Right. Yeah, that's really good. I like what you were saying too about making it really fun.
Yes.
And not
you're missing, see what you're missing,
right? Right. And I think like sometimes it can be that distraction of then you're pulling away.
Yes, back and forth. Yes, I'm going back and forth, and then nothing gets accomplished, and the kids will be all over the room, and I would have no control. It's not about control, but it's about leadership. It's about influencing them, because we set the stage for them. We are the role models, so we have to teach them, what is accepted and what's not. And so if we keep letting those things slip through the cracks, just let them go, slide, eventually they don't listen at all.
Right. I have another question on, because we live in sort of a busy world, right? That word, like busy, or it's just almost a bad word now, but it's true, right? Oftentimes I feel like there's a lot of people who, especially parents, right? So you also have your kids, you have your full-time job, you have yourself to take care of, maybe you have your partner, that you want to be present with. So maybe give us like an activity or something to sort of build on that home teamwork for somebody who just gets off of work, they still have to make dinner, and their kids are, wanting attention. What would you sort of implement there?
Well, first of all, it's important to connect with them after school, because that connection is going to determine how your evening will be. And so you need to figure out, see where they are. Are they hyper? They can't sit still, they have to keep moving. And you have to make a determination whether your child needs to blow off some steam, whether they needs to go outside and run. And depending upon the age, you may let go outside and run, you know, while supervising them, but the other child, you can sit with that child. So after a long day of being away from you, they need some attention,
Mm,
right? And so if you give that younger one the attention first, it doesn't have to be the younger one first, but usually it's advisable because they're younger and they've been gone all day, so they're more needy, so
mm,
they'll, you know, it's best to give them that attention first. And then so you could sit and play quietly with that child, you know, snuggle, read a book together, whatever that child wants to do. Give them that one-on-one and let them choose what they want to do, you
mm.
know. And if it's appropriate, and then while you're supervising your other child, but it's always good to set that boundary. Or so you will say, you know, uh we're going to take a 15-minute break before we get ready for dinner, and you know, I'm going to get dinner started. And I would say, if you get into the habit of having the older ones help you, or even if the little one is in a little corner somewhere where you can see and you can still have that conversation, it doesn't have to be separate, but
Mm.
that is where you all come together at the end of the day and you can talk about your day, what
Mm.
happened, you know, what's going on, you know, those type of things, and share your day too, you know,
Right.
if it's appropriate, if it's no, not too advanced, or you know, but then, and then, you know, so always set that time, that limitation, the boundaries. 15 minutes, at 10 minutes you say, oh, 5 more minutes, you know, we
Right.
have 5 more minutes. And then, because that gives them time to wrap up what they're doing and to get ready for
Mm.
the next step. And then they'll be able to come in with you, and then, you know, then you'll regroup and say, okay, you know what, um Michelle, why don't you, you know, I have put some toys here, is that okay, do you want something else to play with? You know, you can sit here while mommy and Star get dinner ready. Oh, Star, can you help me, can you help me cut some things up, or some meat up, not meat up, but you know, pick some vegetables or something up. And you can say yes or no, and then if you say
Right.
no, then you can go and do something else that's close by. But just being able to come together, and connect at the end of the day.
Yeah. That's really good. That's really good. And just like a good reminder, right? Because I think
Mhm,
sometimes we know the things, but then in
mhm.
just like that busyness and then the stress, and then you see all the things that need to get done, we might
Yes,
forget that connecting is the most important.
right. But and so what's going to happen is your child is going to feel more settled, right,
Mhm.
and ready for what's coming. And especially if you make it a habit to prepare them for what's
Right,
coming
right.
next. So if you know,
Mhm.
you oh, 15 minutes, 5 more minutes time, we're gonna do this, you know, and then but you give them choices to say this or that. So it's not always, you don't, not always rigid about things, but you do
Right.
give them at least two choices. And
Yeah.
then that gives them some control. So it's not you always telling them what to do. And
Mm.
then it will be, they will participate more.
Right, right. And learn how to make choices.
Yeah, there you go, right?
Yeah.
And then right, I'm big about benefits of what you're doing. You know, it's like,
Mhm.
oh, you know, mommy really appreciates you, you know, being so kind. You're so gentle with your sister, and you're so you gave her toy. You're being very thoughtful for her, you know. And if she does something to him or to you, the younger one does something to you, and they'll say, oh, you know, and you know, Star likes it when you're gentle to her. Or do you want to give her a kiss or a hug? She really likes that, you know. So. So teach them about each other too. So it's just
Mhm.
having those really um, close connections, and teaching your children how to relate to each other. You know, because if we don't teach them at home, where are we gonna? Who's gonna teach them?
Yes, right. That's good. That's good. That's true. Well, June, this has been amazing. I've loved talking with you, and you are a great coach, a great family
Oh, thank
coach.
you.
How can people connect with you and learn more what you have to offer?
Oh my goodness. Yes, I have a free gift. Well, in my book, of course, I talk about a lot of my activities and practices and ideas about how to connect with your children, and ways in which you can build team spirit, because you always want to have a team spirit with your children, because it prepares them for their experiences outside your home. And sports, we all send our children to. I played sports. I loved sports. I played badminton competitively. I played table tennis for fun, and I played regular tennis competitively. And I dabbled a little bit in softball, but yes, I love sports. Sports is very good for teaching children how to work together in a team, how to be unified. But it's even more important, I think, that they learn that at home, because they're going to learn it the way you want. You want them to learn the values and the traits that you want them to have. So home team parenting is available on Amazon. It's live today, so please go out and get it. And there's a free gift in it for you. It's a very valuable information for you. You go to my free gift site, and then you can link with me to, if you want more of how to be a home team parent, learning about teamwork, then please go and make go to Calendly and make an appointment with me. Thank you so much.
Yes, and all that information will be on your website as well.
Yes, it will be.
Yep. And JuneLBaucom.com, I believe.
Yes, JuneLBaucom.com.
And we'll have that in the comments as well. And I believe you're even giving a free 30-minute session.
Yes, I am
as
giving
well.
a free 30-minute session. Yes.
You buy the book on Amazon. We have it in paperback as well as in Kindle. Go through the book, and then you can access the free gift, which is just kind of some more really helpful information. And then you can sign up for a 30 minutes to have your own amazing conversation with June on how you can build a home team with your family. So that is awesome. June, is there anything else? What else would you like to share with us? Last minute knowledge that you have.
Yes. What I like to say is what you do now determines how your child will do it later. So give your child the advantages now that they'll need to have a successful and fulfilling life. If you wait till later, it's going to take longer. So so technically it takes less time to do it now, to do it right, than to backtrack when they're older, because it's going to be longer. So take the time now to teach them what's valuable.
Right, that's good. And then actually, let me jump off of that really quickly. If they have an older child, can they still reach out to you? What advice do you have on that?
The older children, older than 11, I would be able to maybe recommend somebody else for them that's in our training, because we belong to an amazing team. Life on Fire has a lot of wonderful coaches and mentors. So I'd love to recommend somebody else. So please, you can reach out to me there too.
Okay, yeah. So the book would still be helpful just to kind of learn the skills. And then you can still reach out, and then we can point you in the right direction.
Right direction.
It sounds like awesome. Well, thank you so much, June. This has been great. Again, my name is Star, and I'm with Aligning Purpose Publishing. And if you want to be a best-selling author, just like June here, you have experience, you have something that you're skilled at. We learned that today, right? June was sharing that. We all have something that we can offer the world. So connect with me and let's get your book published. All right, we'll see you guys later.
Yay, thank you.